welcome to the Schaefer Center here in the campus of Southwestern Assemblies of God University here in Waxahachie, Texas, where today it's volleyball in action on the SAGU Sports Network. Your Lions host the St. Gregory's Cavaliers. And hello everybody, Rob Price here along with my partner Devin Gwines. Devin, the Lady Lions come into this ball game 13-11, now a click above 500, 6-4 in conference play. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers struggling so far, 5-17 on the year and just 2-7 in conference. Now, what's good to know for the Lady Lions is they're on a 3-game winning streak in terms of conference play, winning all but just one set, a 3-1 win over Texas Wesleyan. We covered that game, was really fun to watch. And then a straight set win over Southwestern Christian and also Mid-America Christian University.
And SAGU really does seem to have turned that corner on the winning streak. We went on a stretch of 6 losses in 7 matches, but now recently we've won 3 of the last 4. So we've really picked up the slack. And the only loss was against a non-conference foe, Southern Nazarene, and they've got a great team. So now officially we're in the running for postseason play. We just have 6 matches left, 3 at home and 3 on the road. But the tough thing is that 3 of those matches are against the 3 top SAC competitors.
And those would be Wayland,
right, Wayland
Oklahoma Baptist, and then Oklahoma City as well.
Right. And against the top 3 teams, like we said, another match is against Texas Wesleyan, which we just covered that match last week. And so we'll get another chance to take that team on.
But first things first, SAGU needs to take care of business today here in their home court against a team from Shawnee, Oklahoma, that looks to start 4 freshmen today. But Devin, this team is not to be taken lightly. Why? Because they're probably the hungriest team in the conference right now. They're sitting in 7th place. That's 1 spot out of the top 6 which qualify for postseason play. So the Lady Lions will have to bring their game against what promises to be a hungry Cavalier ball club. Well, more game notes in a moment, but first let's take you down to our sideline reporter, Tyler Marie Evans, who's standing by with head coach Hank Moore.
Thanks, guys. Now, Coach, the last time we saw the Lady Lions on the court, they had a thriller of a game against Texas Wesleyan University. Tell me, how has that win really energized all the past games that they've had?
Well, Texas Wesleyan at the time that we played them was number 3 in our conference ranking-wise, so it was a great win for us. And coming off of a win like that, it gives you some extra incentive, because if you beat the top 3rd team, now you got a chance to get number 2 or 1 as well. So that's a good match for us.
Now, earlier this year, we played against St. Gregory's and swept them on the road. Tell me, how do you now, as a coach, approach this team this go-around?
This is an important match for us and for St. Greg's. Right now, we're sitting in the 6th spot. They're sitting in the 7th spot. Just the top 6 teams make it into the tournament. So they're going to be real hungry. So it's an important match that we step up and take this away from them.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in tonight's game. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Coach Moore. Thanks, Tyler Marie Evans. Appreciate that. So you heard from Hank Moore as well. Talk about this team's in 7th place, but not to be taken lightly at all, Devin.
Right, and in this series history, luckily we've got history on our side. The Lady Lions lead the series against this team 5-0, and we've only dropped 2 sets in those 5 wins. So we've really got a lot going for us. And with that, let's take a look at some of SAGU Lady Lions' key players tonight. We've got Jessica Sodich, number 5, who had 45 kills and 48 digs in the last 4 matches. So she's a real player to watch tonight. And Emily Smith, our libero, has 55 digs in the last 4 games. And Faith Harden, only a freshman, number 14, had 38 kills in the last 4 matches.
Harden bringing the hammer, I would like to say, of late. She's definitely a player to watch in the next few seasons ahead, playing great in her freshman campaign. Meanwhile, on the Cavaliers side, Devin, they run a 6-2. Explain what a 6-2 offense is.
The 6-2 offense is simply, we obviously have 6 players on the court, but that means we have 2 setters on the court at all times. So you always have a setter on the front row and on the back row too.
And for that reason, 2 of the 3 key players to watch for the Cavaliers would be Rachel Lucas. She averages 4.2 assists per game. And then there's Ashley Ruiz at 3.5 assists. And then Tiffany Funk, she leads the team in kills with 2.3.
And with those statistics, let's take a little look from the SAC conference standings. Taylor Calverley was just recently named Setter of the Week, and Cassie Cox, a senior player for the Lady Lions, was named Hitter of the Week. And Calverley's numbers for last week, take a quick look.
Impressive stats.
Right, she had 9.3 assists per game and 28 digs. So our setter, Calverley, is not only putting up sets for these players, but is also playing excellent defense. And we've got Cox, number 11, averaging 3 kills per game, 2 solo blocks, and 17 combo blocks, which those numbers are huge. And Cox also had 9 digs and 1 assist in last week's play.
You add those numbers up, look at the large body of work that these folks have had, Calverley and Cox, and their numbers are outstanding. In fact, Calverley just passed 4,500 assists for her career, and Cox just passed 1,200 kills this past week as well. So the weeks were great, their senior year's off and running, and they look to continue great play here in the Student Athletic Conference. We'll take a quick break, right back with more game action here. You're watching SAGU Sports Live on the SAGU Sports Network.
Father, we come to you in the precious name of Jesus. We thank you for doctors. We thank you for research. We thank you for the many things that man can do, but our ultimate hope is in you. We thank you because you are greater than any foe, greater than any disease. And tonight we lean on you. We ask you to bless those who are doing research, bless those who are in the medical field. Tonight, though, we lift up those that are struggling, battling, overcoming this dreaded disease tonight, and keep your hand upon families who have been impacted by colon cancer. We thank you, God. We ask you to honor this collaborative effort tonight between St. Gregory's and SAGU. And everyone who believes said, amen. Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem to be done by Miss Sarah Kirk.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From Bethesda, Ohio, Sarah Kirk. Let's meet the starting lineups first for the Cavaliers of St. Gregory's. Number 4 from Alameda, California, Lexi Renteria. Number 9 from Houston, Texas, Shannon Howard. Number 12 from Sullivan, Missouri, Rachel Lucas. Number 13 from Houston, Lamitra Smith-Thomas. Number 14 from Houston, Kara Alonzo. Number 25 from Houston, Tiffany Funk. And number 2, the libero, number 3, the libero, Daniela Rivera. The head coach, Ms. DJ Sanchez, the St. Gregory's Cavaliers. Now the starting lineup for the SAGU Lady Lions, an outside hitter from Arlington, Texas, number 5, Jessica Soden. At middle hitter, number 6, from Kenmore, Washington, JJ Abba. A 6-foot middle hitter from Lake Livingston, Texas, number 8, Mackenzie Riddle. At center from Mansfield, Texas, number 9, Taylor Calverley. And middle blocker from Lufkin, Texas, number 11, Cassie Cox. And outside hitter from Midlothian, Texas, number 14, Faith Harden. And our libero from Red Oak, Texas, number 2, Emily Smith. Head coach for SAGU, now in his 13th year, Hank Moore.
The first set we should. All right, well, it's time for some volleyball here at the Schaefer Center. Devin, your thoughts as the Lions prepare to try to maintain that hold on 4th place against a team they probably should beat, but what are some trouble spots you think they may need to watch out for today?
I think the main trouble spot tonight will be playing down, possibly to a level that they haven't been used to since they've been playing teams like Southern Nazarene and Texas Wesleyan. And I think that they'll have to really go into this match with their heads focused to be sure that they don't play at a lower level just because they think they can conquer this team easily. But I think if we can have our team all set together and all playing in unison, then I think we should be okay and get that start right off the bat in the first serve.
Live stats are in your programs tonight.
Really appreciate the classy move from our coaching staff to have a moment of silence for the memory of Emily Smith's mother, who passed away last year, Cynthia Smith. So it's a blue out tonight to bring awareness to colon cancer victims and fighters.
Starting the match from the back row for St. Gregory, number 12.
And Rachel Lucas will get things underway here for the Cavaliers. She's a freshman from Houston, Texas. We're underway at the Schaefer Center. And just like that, Cox puts it down, making it look easy. Textbook play.
Now, we've seen in these past couple matches with Cassie Cox that she really gels well with Calverley, and I think that first hit that we just saw already shows that. And if we can keep that throughout the whole match, then we really have a good thing going.
Nice blocking up front from Cox and Abbott, or check that, Harden. Good defense from the Cavaliers. And I believe that's going to be 4 hits against St. Gregory. So Lions jump out to quick 3-0 or 2-0 lead. Here's Briggs, the senior. Harden. Good defense from Smith. Near the corner, Cavaliers struggle to keep it alive. Point Southwestern. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out and getting loose here. Lions up 3-0. Lucas. It's handled by Harden. She'll get a shot at it. Cross court. Back row attack from the libero. Cox, too much power. Right down the line. Nice accuracy.
It'll be interesting to see in this match if the Lady Lions can really stay on top of their offense, as we've seen that the Cavaliers are sending things off speed to the other side, and the Lady Lions have been scrambling in a couple of plays here on early in this first set. So they'll have to really stay on their toes for plays like that, just right off the block, coming in an off speed. And anything sent over, we call that scrappy from the Cavaliers, just getting over barely the net. So we'll see if the Lady Lions can really stay on their toes.
Able to look right past the double block from Calverley and Cox. So the Cavaliers on the board. Sodich, Calverley to Harden. That block will go out of bounds. Point out, side out, SAGU.
Now serving from Disaster, Ohio.
And you see Emily Smith wearing the blue shirt in honor of her mother, the blue out, night to night. And that just looked like too deep of a set.
She was pushed far at the 10-foot line, the setter, and pushing that far back a back set is really a difficult play. And so that chemistry between that right side hitter and the set wasn't there because she wasn't in the right place to set that.
Here's Lucas.
And there's an
That's
example.
Tiffany Funk there.
An example of that off speed that I was just mentioning, those plays that aren't really easy to read by the Lady Lions, and that push tip that we just saw by that right side Cavalier.
Nice play from Cavalier, took it herself.
That dump play, when she's on the front row and is able to jump at the net, that really can offset the opposing team and really push things around so that they don't know what to predict.
Well, they're expecting a set from one of the top setters in the conference. They know her well. Here's Becca Dollar. Sends one over to Funk. Nice double block from Calverley and Criddle. I think it was Calverley got her hands on that one, Devin.
And she's responsible for setting that block, whether she's going to block cross court or down the line. So she really has to be a smart blocker along with her great sets because she sets that right side block.
And there's, there's a miscue from Becca Dollar. Looks like she just didn't quite get her full arm motion into that serve. It didn't look good from the moment it left her hands. Side out Cavaliers, 8-3. And probably a free ball. There's miscommunication between Briggs and Sodich. Briggs was there, then backed out the last moment. Sodich took it. I think she thought Briggs was going to take it.
That communication right there on a play that's so high in the air is so important between two players to really almost yell at the other one, letting them know that they're going to get that.
There's a free ball sent over from Calverley. Give the Cavaliers a chance. And Sodich unable to deliver on that one. Be side out St. Gregory's, 8-5. There's Criddle getting up high with the kill. Her first kill of the night. Found a spot right past the 10-foot line. Do want to welcome all of our viewers watching from Shawnee, Oklahoma tonight. Watching your Cavaliers in action here in the SAGU Sports Network. And all of the parents and grandparents and family and friends watching across the United States, watching your perhaps daughter or granddaughter or sister. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us tonight here in the SAGU Sports Network. Sodich just have to send that one over. Nice blocking up front. Yeah, Smith with the set. Abbott unable to put it away. Lady Lions getting active now. Like to see that, Devin. Like to see a lot of legs up in the air and hopping around there, keeping active. And this ball is still active. Longest rally of the match. It's going to be a free ball. A chance for Southwestern. Here's Sodich. Inexcusable reaction time on the near side of the court, Devin.
We were so used to playing so close to the net with all those off-speed tips and those tips off the block that dig that went straight back over to that deeper corner on the right side was so unexpected.
Abbott reloads, tip, dump. And Southwestern suddenly looks a bit out of sorts. Don't expect to see a timeout, or you should expect to see one. And heck, here it is. Hank Moore does want to talk it over as the Cavaliers are just hanging around and not playing excellent, but not playing bad either. A lot of mistakes on both sides, and Hank Moore does not like what he sees right now.
And this timeout is most likely to just kind of get the team to take a deep breath because he knows that his team can play better than this, and he knows that we can gel better than what we're seeing right now. And And the Cavaliers are doing a great job of sending things off speed, like I've said, and the Lady Lions just need to be able to read that and get a better feel for what's going to be coming over the net. And the most important thing defensively is to stay on your toes, because if your weight gets back on your heels, you're not going to have the reaction time quick enough to get to whatever comes over.
The Cavaliers appear like they're just playing a lot of defense, trying to not make mistakes, to minimize any mistakes, and let SAGU make the mistakes. In the last 4 or 5 points, that's exactly what's happened. So both players step back on the court, and St. Gregory's will have the ball with a chance to knot things up here at 9. A big week ahead here on the SAGU Sports Network. Tuesday, we'll be back in action here. Nice heads-up play as Kirk ducks her head out of the way. Side out SAGU. Tuesday, we'll be back here at the Schaefer Center for more volleyball action. And then Thursday, we'll head outside for our final soccer broadcast of the season. And then Saturday, homecoming, 2 p.m. at Lumpkin Stadium. Right here, the SAGU Sports Network. Whining and firing is Lamitra Thomas-Smith. SAGU will come away with the point. Scored the last 2 after the timeout. Here's Sodich, the senior, with more than 4,500 kills to her credit. Harden. That looked like to be a double contact. Wasn't called. Abbott sends that one down.
You saw that switch-up play by Criddle and Abbott right there. Calverley had 2 options to set a quick set to either the middle or the right side, and so that, for the defense, really confuses them to where to set the block. So they were able to have both of those quick plays there for Calverley to go to.
And a poor set there from Rachel Lucas trying to set up Lexi Renteria. Bad position. Lady Lions will get that one. A nice serve from Sodich. Sends it down the right side, right in front of Tiffany Funk. And now first-year head coach DJ Sanchez wants to talk things over as Lions have run off, I believe, 5 in a row now. Yeah, five straight after the first timeout called by Hank Moore. So as we mentioned in pregame, the Lions presently sit in 4th place, Devin. Now, the best-case scenario would be if the Lions are able to win tonight and Oklahoma City University loses tonight, that will put Lady Lions actually up in 3rd place.
If we can really stay on this winning streak that we've been on, that would be most beneficial for us. If we win the games that, like you said at the beginning of the match, that we should win, then we can really use that cushion as we begin to play tougher teams in these next 6 matches.
You saw a moment ago all of our social network sites. Be sure to check those out. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, of course, SAGU.TV archives all of our broadcasts. Thanks for keeping up with all the latest athletic happenings here in Waxahachie. Back to live action now. Sodich sends one over, and Criddle, good offense near the line. Had to lean back on that one. Abbott did. That's going to sail about 8 feet wide. Nice back arch from Abbott. Harden, the freshman. Nice dump. Right over the front line. Right near the 10-foot line. Nice heads-up play from the freshman.
As Harden, we've seen in these past couple matches, she really does have a strong... throughout each of the plays, but right there she was able to look over the block and see that there was an open spot on the court and send that tip right where she needed to.
Double block from Criddle and Abbott. Libero. Smith sets one for Abbott.
Blocked by Lexi Renteria, point Cavaliers.
Blocked and in bounds. Cavaliers will get that point, 16-9. Smith to Calverley. Harden, or Criddle had to go from offense to defense in a big hurry. Another dump from Criddle, handled by St. Gregory's. This point coming one of the longest of the match now. Free ball, Calverley to Smith. Here's Abbott. Nice dump play. Saw the open spot down the right side, Devin.
And as you notice, we had some pushes deep to the court in both corners, and what that does is really makes the defense spread out. So instead of always tipping or roll shotting in front of the 10-foot line, being able to spread out that defense really allows for the offense to have more options, like we just saw in that tip off to the right side.
Janice Allen, the target of that serve. Unable to pull it back over. They're going to target Allen again. That's 2 in a row. We'll see if Smith wants to try and go for the old third time's the charm. They'll look for a cross-court serve here from Smith over to Allen in the short left. She likes to go down the middle in the 6th spot. A hitting error from Tiffany Clark. What happened there, Devin?
These errors coming from the Cavaliers are ones that really could be avoided if it's a matter of technique, being able to line up your feet, get your shoulders squared away to the court, and make sure you're reaching your elbow all the way back, getting high enough to make that ball go over the net when you make contact. But as we've seen in these past 2 plays with the Cavaliers, their hitters have not gotten in the proper position to hit the ball. So the pass has been great, the set has been good, and has been in the right position. But the hitter hasn't been able to line up and get where they're supposed to and get their arms all the way back in order to get that ball over the net.
Lions have gone on an 11-1 run, Devin, since that timeout called by Coach Moore when they had their lead trimmed to just 1. It was 9-8, and now look at the score, it's 20-9. And it seems like SAGU has just picked up their pace of play, and they're playing smarter as well.
And like I said, when we called that timeout, that was really Coach Moore's way of getting the team to take a deep breath and just focus on how they know they can play the game.
Smith will send it in from the left side. She does look for Allen again, and she gets the call. Cox with a little help from Harden. Harden sends it back. Nice defense, good net penetration. 21-9. Calverley, nice hustle, free ball from Sodich, sends it back over. That's an amazing play. Did it land in bounds? Just out of bounds. A little quick reaction first from Sodich, then I believe it was Harden just reacted to that low, I guess you call it a pass. It's a reaction from Sodich, but Harden almost pulled that one off.
And that quick dig by Sodich, there wasn't much that Harden could do. The ball was coming really quickly at her face, so all you can really do there is throw an arm up and hope that it goes into the court.
Then as you were describing that play, Harden corrects herself and sends that one packing. A deep kill shot gives the Lions a 22-10 advantage. Briggs on the serve. That's Tiffany Funk, but rejected.
As you saw in that play, our blockers, we always are in the right position, but that one we were a little too far back, causing the ball to go in front of us, in between our players and the net, rather than going straight down to the other side of the court.
Sodich, Calverley, Cox. We said those 3 names a lot, and it's worked a lot. It did right there. Standard textbook SAGU volleyball. Calverley to Sodich to Cox. The 3 big names coming up big. Now here's Alyssa Kirk, 23-11, wants to put this away. What happened there, Devin? That's just another, was it a bad set or just a bad setup there from Sierra Mullins?
When hitting from the outside, you have to make sure that you get behind the 10-foot line and outside of that out boundary line, because you're coming in at an angle to hit cross court. And if you're able to get far enough out, you can even turn your shoulders to go down the line. But if you get started in the wrong place, it's really hard to adjust and get that ball back in the court or even over the net.
Cox, the clean kill, gives set number 1 to SAGU. 25-11 your score.
25-11.
So after that timeout, Cavaliers just able to muster 2 more points.
You did not pick up your copy of the game program. They're available at the door.
Overall, a good clean set once they kind of got their sea legs. And Lions looking to keep this up here in set number 2.
Also, we encourage you, if you've not done so yet, go to Facebook and visit SAGU Sports.
A quick look at the standings will show us that Oklahoma Baptist is still number 1 in the conference. They're 9-0, undefeated, number 8 in the nation, 23-4 overall. Right behind them, Wayland Baptist, number 18 in the land. They're at 7-1. Those two have a pretty good stranglehold on the first 2 positions, which get a bye in postseason play. So essentially, teams 3, 4, and 5, 6. We'll see action. Let's take it down now to Tyler Evans on court side. Tyler?
Thanks, guys. Here I am with Tiffany Heathcock, the cheerleader of the game. Now, Tiffany, tell me, what's a typical week like for you as a cheerleader?
Well, it's really busy. You know, we usually have 2 to 3 practices a week, and then on top of that, we have volleyball games, sometimes soccer games, and then we are actually traveling this year with the football team, so it's really fun, but it's really busy.
Now, upcoming next week, we have Midnight Madness on October 24th, next Thursday. For students who have never experienced this or who don't know what to expect, tell me, what do you guys have in store?
Well, we're going to do things a little bit differently this year, so you'll just have to come to find out about that. We're going to have a lot of food just in the FLC, so first come, first serve. And then we are going to perform, obviously, and the basketball teams, both guys and girls, actually have a little skit that they're going to do, so you come, it's going to be really fun and exciting.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Back to you, Rob.
Tiffany, thanks, Tyler. Quick look at our first set stats. Cassie Cox with 5 kills. No big surprise there. And of course, right behind her, Faith Harden with 3, JJ Abbott with 2. Assists for Calverley, 9 assists, 9 of the 10 went to Calverley. Smith had 1. Overall hitting percentage, .333 compared to minus .95, Devin.
We see when it's that big of a difference, you see really where the game was won. And for this match, offensively, SAGU was just able to deliver much more consistently than was St. Gregory. And we were able to really follow through on plays and finish them out. Defensively, both teams were able to get things up off speed or pushed back corners. But offensively, Southwestern was really able to follow through and get those kills. 3 team blocks for Southwestern, 1 for St. Gregory's. Defensive digs, 20-17 advantage for the Lady Lions as well. As we're underway here in set number 2. Smith will keep her serve. Sends it over to Funk. Mullins with a nice kill attack. Now there's going to be a whistle. It's a net violation. Side out Cavaliers. Cox's hitting percentage was an astounding .833, Devin. Now, you know these stats better than I do. That just sounds like a huge number. And it really is. When she got, let's see, she had 5 kills in that match, and 6 sets were given to her. So when you hit 5 kills out of 6 attempts, then you really have that skyrocketing hitting percentage. And it's really uncommon, obviously, to see that as a consistent percentage, but that'll really help out Cox's overall number if she can hit like that the rest of this match.
Tiffany Funk was the leading percentage attacker in that first set, just 143. So we'll see if the Cavaliers can turn things around in set number 2. Volleyball is a funny game. It's a game of momentum, as Devin has told us on many occasions. And you never just want to lay down on a team, because this is the SAGU Athletic Conference, and the competition is tough from top to bottom. Alyssa Kirk from Ohio. Pataskala, Ohio. I probably butchered that name. Sorry, folks. If you're watching from that fine town in Ohio. Gahanna Christian High School. Funk will put it in play. Calverley to Sodic. Sodic sends it packing right in front of Ashley Ruiz.
Now serving Becca Dollar.
Nice velocity from Sodic on that kill. And there it is again. Look at the height she got on that kill attempt.
And you can see she just hit that from the middle, but the last play was hit the court. She can really get up, jump high, and get that kill shot wherever she is set on the front line.
That's going to sail wide. Cross-court attempt from Keisha Peters, a freshman from Oklahoma City, Del City High School product. And a mistake from Becca Dollar. Uncharacteristic miscue on the serve. Although Coach Hakemore gives her a high five, tells her to keep her chin up. Those things happen. Criddle. Good defense. Sodic to Calverley. Short set to Criddle. Cavaliers recover. Nice punch save from Briggs. Sodic sends it deep. And they'll come away with the point. A lot more pace on that play there, Devin, on both sides.
And we've seen recently in this set, we've seen the Cavaliers do have those front row players that can really put the ball away. We saw in that last play that Briggs had to really get down low and, like you said, just punch the ball up. There wasn't a lot of time to react differently. So the Cavaliers definitely have something going on the front line.
And Lamitra Thomas-Smith does just that. Her and her other middle blocker, Lexi Renteria, playing strong in the front line, and they're just down 1 point, 6-5. Abbott to Kirk, back to Abbott. Really like how she set it behind that 10-foot line and jumped into the serve. Really got a lot of velocity on that point.
And as you saw on the Cavaliers side of that play, the ball tipped off the block, and number 13 in that left front position, she had her weight caught on her heels, and so she was expecting the ball to come straight to her from the hip, but when it was tipped off the block, her weight was already too far back for her to be able to change directions quick enough to get under that ball.
Cavaliers send a free one over. And Cavaliers will return the favor. Cavaliers short set to Harden. Net penetration not there for the Cavaliers. That was Sierra Mullins, but unable to get set close up in front of the net. Side out, SAGU, 8-5. And that's an intentional short set. It was a mistake, but she tried to throw off the Cavaliers on that serve.
And being able to do that in a serve is just as important as a hit, because when you're serving constantly in one spot, the team knows how to set up on that serve receive. But what Coach Moore is trying to do, it seems, in all of his serves is really serve it short to kind of offset their serve receive, the Cavaliers, so that they don't know what to predict.
Really nice net save there from Calverley. If you watch that middle of that point, waited for it, squared his shoulders to the net, let it come off the net, didn't panic, able to save that point for SAGU. That's Courtney Tabolka, number 18, checking in the game, getting some quick action early in this first point that she's entered the game. There she is again. She bumps into the libero, Smith. Courtney Taboka, a former high school teammate of Faith Harden at Midlothian High School. Caitlin Pascal also played for the Panthers. She's a year ahead of Harden. And Taboka, nice play up front there with the tip. Here comes Briggs. She'll come in to serve for Abbott. Taboka elected to grab that one. That's a back row kill from the libero. Now, the rule here is as long as the ball isn't above the plane at the top of the net, the libero is allowed to do that.
Right, and it really is a big deal when the libero is able to get a kill because she doesn't get that opportunity very often. She's playing defense so much that she doesn't really have the opportunity to play offense. And that play just there, when she times it right and the ball's not above the plane, she can jump and get that kill.
Nice play from Keisha Peters on that last play. Too much velocity. Cox's block attempt sailed out of bounds, but that kill attempt from Cox hits the mark. Check for a dent in the floor. Wow. Taboka will take a seat along with Faith Harden. 12-8 your score. Set number 2. Funk finds the net. And that one's going to sail wide. And Lady Lions on a roll now. Cox from the outside. Does it hit the line? It's just a bit outside. Kirk keeps the serves going. That block's gonna sail easily out of bounds. And Lady Lions have doubled up the Cavaliers, and that's gonna elicit a timeout from DJ Sanchez.
And this timeout is going to be an attempt to ice Alyssa Kirk, the server right now for the Lady Lions. So it's going to be important, just as it always is coming back from a timeout, but even more so when the timeout is so clearly intended to ice that server. It's so important not to miss that serve. So Alyssa Kirk is really going to have to come back to that line and focus.
As you see some of the upcoming games for the Lady Lions, 2 of those 5 we'll have here for you right here on the SAGU Sports Network. On the 22nd, Oklahoma Baptist will roll into town. Of course, they're the #1 team in the nation, 6 p.m. first point. And on the road against Joan Brown, back at home again here, SAGU.TV, Oklahoma City. So, as you said in pregame, Devin, we're in that stretch run of the season. 6 conference games left, 3 on the road, 3 at home. And 3 of those 6 games are against teams that are we're looking up at in the standings. And the other one, Texas Wesleyan, is what you call our arch rival, or at least our local arch rival. And we got to play them again in Fort Worth. Miscommunication there in the back row will give Cavaliers a free point.
And that doesn't happen very often. Emily Smith, our libero, is always communicating very well. It's the libero's responsibility to be the loudest, most vocal player on the court. Defensively, that's so important, and you don't see what that play just showed very often.
Smith let that one fly. Cox with the unusual, uncustomary set to the back row. Coach Hank Moore likes to have all of his players to be able to set that ball if they need to in a pinch.
He really makes it important to his players that everyone is a setter on the court. Now, obviously, Calverley for us is our main setter, but he wants to ensure, just like we just saw with Sodic pushing that ball over, he wants to make sure that all the players can step in and set the ball if there's ever a crisis moment on the court.
Dollar will take a seat. Keisha Peters sends the ball to Kirk. Short set to Sodic from Calverley. Cavaliers able to keep it alive. Short set now to Harden, pays off. Back right corner. Blockers weren't set, neither was the back row.
Calverley from the back line.
That was an odd play, kind of bounced funny off the net there.
You saw Sodic try and get that set out of the net, but it was just too tight for her to be able to get up. And even if she's in the right position on the court, coming outside far enough, being behind the 10-foot line, if she's not able to have that set far enough off the net for her to get in proper position to hit, then there's not much she can do to get that ball over.
Defense was sucked in real tight there, and there's no way Kirk was going to chase that one down. Cavaliers cut the lead to 6. Lexi Renteria, the captain, puts the ball in play. She's from Lomita, California, a senior out of Torrance High School. Hitting error called against St. Gregory's. Side out. SAGU. Kirk will take a seat. Sodic, reliable server. Last time she had that short one in the net. This one she sends easily over. Sarah Mullins with the kill attempt. Sails wide. Lions looking to go a perfect 6-0 all time against these Cavaliers. On their way to a second set win. That net just kind of helped the ball roll back on Southwestern side. We could see from our vantage point, it just tickled the net and had that side spin, sent it right back on the Lions side of the court. Side out. Cavaliers. Sodic now. Calvin had to dig that one out of the net, so a free ball for the Cavaliers. Nice heads-up play from Lemitra Thomas. Plenty of height. Jumps behind the line and was able to get the blocking crew out of position.
We've seen on these last two plays that the Cavaliers have really taken advantage of our out-of-position blockers, because those last 2 points on that first one that rolled down the net, the blockers are too far off, and then in that play we just tooled off the block outside of the court. And if you can't get an offensive play that can go down onto the court or really hit it hard enough to get a point, then you have to start tooling off of the block and really knowing what you're facing at the net.
Smith back to serve, sends it over to Funk. Funk with the kill attempt back to Smith. The punch may have caught the line. It did catch the line. Line judge rules it in. It was close. Wasn't pretty, but it'll count just the same. 22-14. Smith sends a soft one over. And there's going to be a whistle and net double contact. Check that, double contact called against St. Gregory's. Like that defense up front from Southwestern right now, Devin.
And like I mentioned at the beginning of this match, it's really important that we play at a high level, even when we're not sure how the other team is going to be. And we've seen the Cavaliers really have made us play at that higher level. And as shown right there, we have that front row on the Cavaliers that really can send stuff back over just as quickly as we return it.
Tabolka with some good defense on the back row, centered to the ground, sprawling in that spin that they teach all you players how to do. And she got up hoping for, a good result, but by the time she came back to her feet, the point was over, and SAGU had lost the point. But like that play from the back row freshman. Peters sends one over. Free ball now from Tabolka. Could be Peters again. No, it's going to be Mullins. Not the best set from Smith. gives the Cavaliers a chance. Here's Funk. Rejected by Cox. Maybe go out of bounds, and it does. Nice, complete, rounded play, top to bottom from SAGU. They'll jump out to a 24-15 lead, and that means it is set point in set number 2 here at the Schaefer Center. Peters. Cox, will she send it home? She does! Set number 2. Chalk it up, Lady Lions, up 2-0. Making it look easy at set number 2 there, Devin, as they have found their groove and have responded to Coach Moore's timeouts on the side lines.
Now the difference.
Former standouts taking the court. If you didn't get a chance to see them play when they were here, this is your chance.
As hard as they could, but now we see in that second set they really started off well, and we played at a high level, and the Cavaliers really picked it up too, which is why the score was a little bit closer in that second set. But even still, we're able to have this third set to really continue playing at a higher level from point number 1.
We're going to take a real quick commercial break. We'll be right back with set number 3 here at the Schaefer Center. Your Lions lead 2-0. Stay tuned. You're watching the SAGU Sports Network. And we are underway here in set number 3. The Lions have jumped out to a quick 2-0 lead while we were away. And that serves just a bit outside. Briggs hands it back over to St. Gregory's. Ashley Ruiz will check in for Rachel Lucas. Ruiz, a freshman from Edinburgh, Texas. Harden with the hammer. Sends it deep and true. First point on the board in set number 3. This second set hitting percentage improved even over the first set, up to 394 now, Devin. And unfortunately for the Cavaliers, nice hustle there. We'll get back to stats in just a second here. There's a big points brewing here. Great hustle from the back row. Cox with authority sends it home. You talk about hitting percentage, they're keeping it up right here in set number 3. How about that 394 compared to struggling as the Cavaliers is just .023 as Kirk sends one into the net.
And you'll notice the highest stat for the hitting percentage is our libero, Emily Smith, hitting at 100. She had that back row kill. So even though she only has that one play, she's got that highest hitting percentage.
Cox, you know, we're just so disappointed. She dropped to 667 hitting percentage. I mean, come on, Cox. I kid, that's an outstanding percentage. She was just so high in the first set, above 800. Here's Sodich now, handled by St. Gregory's. Sodich to Cox again in the middle. Puts it down. Lions have run off. Here it is again. Saw the angle. No defense against that.
And you've seen Cox is able to really hit any spot on the court, and she really does like that cross to the right side. You see that on the slide most commonly from her, but she can hit that from the middle like she just did.
And there's Criddle getting in on the action. The freshman. That hurt just watching it. Wow. It finds the back left corner. They're saying it was deflected before it went out of bounds, so SAGU will get the point, or St. Gregory's will get the point. Briggs to Calverley, maybe Briggs again. She does take it from the back row. Calverley and Criddle up front. Sodich unable to handle the deflection.
You'll notice in that block, the two blockers, Criddle and Calverley, weren't really in sync on that block. They jumped up at 2 different times. So the ball actually hit Calverley's hands first, then tipped off to Criddle, which caused the ball to go so close to the net where Sodich was unable to get there in time.
Sodich gets that one to fall. Off the deflection, here it is again. Deflection off the front of the net, and Ruiz in the back row had her body leaning the other way. Tough set there from St. Gregory's. Lexi unable to put some real punch on that one. But they do come away with a point, 7-5. If you're St. Gregory's head coach, DJ Sanchez, what do you tell your troops? You're in enemy territory. You've just dropped the first 2 sets. You're trying to hang around in the third. What was probably the topic of discussion during that timeout, Devin?
The most important thing to remember when you're down 2-0 is that really you still do have 3 more sets to be able to come back and win. And it's so easy for the team that's up 2 sets to think that they've got it in the bag and that they don't have to try. So I would imagine that the coach for St. Gregory really gave her team a pep talk to be able to come out and take advantage of the fact that SAGU may potentially get lazy on the court.
8-7. That serve did sail wide, but the Cavaliers able to rattle off a couple before turning the ball back over. Here's Sodic, who wears number 5. Perhaps, you know, it's tough to say. Coach Hank Moore's had a lot of players, but she may be in the top 5 players in recent years who's worn a SAGU uniform. We'll definitely miss her presence on the court next year. She wants to go out strong here in the Lions' first campaign through the Sooner Athletic Conference. With a loss from Oklahoma City tonight and a SAGU win, Lions will take over 3rd place, which is important because what that does is if we're able to maintain that 3rd position, that puts you in the position of playing the 6th seed, which you would think would be the weakest of the 6 teams. So that third place is important. If you can't catch the first 2, which may be unlikely at this point in the season, you want to get that 3rd spot. And that's just where the Lions are looking at right now. And I'll tell you what, about 2 weeks ago, it didn't look good at all. The Lions were mired in 6th and 7th place, so quite a comeback the last few weeks, Devin.
And as we've noticed in the recent games, we were on that 6-game loss, but now we're able to have the 3 wins in the past 4 matches. And so we're really on the uphill climb here, turning it around, as we said in the pregame, that we're really on a winning streak. So if we can keep that and get that cushion in the conference play, it's not so much anymore about making it to postseason. It's about where we sit so that we have a better option of who we play.
Mullins just got eaten alive on that play. Sends her sprawling to the ground, a cross-court winner for the Lady Lions. Renteria puts that one away for St. Gregory's, 11-8. Cavaliers just trying to hang around, try to reach that 20-point mark first, which you said before, Devin, once the first team reaches 20 points, you enter a whole new phase of how you approach that set. You're kind of in the end game, as it were.
And as you said, it's once you get to 20, error-free volleyball is really what the game becomes. And in this first 20 points for both teams, while we always want to play with as few errors as possible, it gets even more important when we don't have that wiggle room to make up for our loss. Great play defensively from Taboka. The point looked dead in the water. Taboka chased it down almost in front of Coach Hank Moore. Kept this point alive. Now there she is again, Taboka. Great defense from the back row. Cox just barely misses that kill attempt. I don't think she went airborne on that play. She stayed on her feet, and what you notice in Cox's play is that her common errors are not long, or they're either wide or in the net, because she's always squared up and close enough to the net to get that attack. But on that play, the set was off the net. She was almost back at the 10-foot line and unable to really get in full swing. And Cox pushing hard, and watch after this play. You're going to see Cox just give her a little push, a little nudge, like, atta girl. I like what I see out of the freshman. Back row attack
from Tobolka. Sails wide. One of the first mistakes we've seen from the freshman.
Now serving number 2, Ashley Ruiz.
Ruiz will set back to serve. She's the junior from Edinburgh High School. And a tough pass there to Calverley in the net. But she's able to come away with the point. What happened there?
If she's on the front row and she has a pass like that coming close enough to her, she has the option of turning into an offensive player more than normal, turning on the net and really pushing the ball into a kill attempt. And if she were on the back row, then that would be against the rules. But she was able to really come up and push that ball where it needed to go onto the court.
Briggs near the net. Calverley lets it go over and lets the Cavaliers make the mistake, and the mistake on this point is a double contact call. Pushes the Lions lead out to 5. Could be deep. It is deep. Lead out to 6. Kirk's a very reliable server. Doesn't make many mistakes. And that block is going to be tipped out of bounds. St. Gregory's get the point. Here it is again. Sodic gets up high. Good combo blocking efforts from the Cavaliers. They do it again, back to back.
What you saw there is she pushed the ball. Calverley pushed out to Sodic and got returned by the block. So now what Calverley's thinking is how to change up where she's going on the front row to switch up the block, because she saw that it wasn't going to be able to get past that block on Sodic. So she pushes the ball into the middle, which kind of offsets the defense for the Cavaliers, and then we are able to get the point.
Yeah, Cavaliers giving all they can. They're just not going their way. Double contact called on that play, on that point. Yeah, you got to credit the Cavaliers' double combo blocking efforts. The ball just not bouncing their way on the net deflections, the block deflections. Here's Becca Dollar to Funk. Criddle.
And you see on this replay where Criddle stayed at the net that whole time, and she's waiting anxiously for Calverley to give her that quick set. On a quick set like that, you don't have to necessarily have the full approach. If you're able to just square up your shoulders and jump high enough like Criddle just did, then it makes the play even quicker.
Good defense from Calverley at the net. And now Criddle gets in on the net action. And now Sodic. First it was Calverley, then Criddle, and then Sodic all with the net push near the net.
And
Third time's a charm.
You saw Sodic really had an open net, no block, but she still took the time to look at the other side of the court and see what was open. And that's why she did that swipe over to the right side of the court, because she saw that there was a hole open for her to go.
Now we've reached that 20 mark. SAGU's first to get there, 20-12. Now with an 8-point cushion, you can afford to make a few mistakes, but if it was 2019, then definitely you want to play that mistake-free volleyball. But let's see if Lions can go ahead and finish up this set playing mistake-free volleyball. And a whistle, and I believe it's a double contact.
It's a net violation.
A net violation, check that. We'll give another point to the Lions. Briggs will take a seat. Abbott will check back in. J.J. Abbott, the sophomore from Kenmore, Washington, out of Cedar Park Christian High School. Just out of the reach of Smith.
And you see the Lady Lions defense that was set up right there. We had Alyssa Kirk at that back right line and Emily Smith in the back left, which leaves the middle of the court open. And as we see that happening, we understand that the block is really supposed to take that away from the court. And so when the ball goes to the middle, that really is up to the blockers to cover that. And that's why the defense can't really get in quickly enough, because they have themselves set in their right defensive positions. So that blame falls on the blockers.
Sodic sends a free one over. Sodic will try for a kill. Well defended by the Cavaliers. Now they're on the attack. Double block from Criddle and Abbott. Criddle again. Sodich punches one over. Rejected again from Criddle and Abbott. Ball still active. Over to Sodich, cross court. Nice defense in the back row. This point is still going on. Now we got a point brewing here at the Schaefer Center. Who wants it more? Here comes Sodich. Too much velocity. And the Lions a big point. Extend their lead to 8.
And what we saw that was different than normal in that play, Rob, is that normally you have each side of the team really hitting as hard as they can, trying to just get the ball onto the floor. But in that play, rather than hitting hard in the beginning, we were hitting all the off-speed right at first. So then that play ended with Sodich hitting that down-the-line shot. But normally you see hit hard throughout the play and then at the end hitting off-speed. That was just an interesting pickup from that long rally.
And service out from Sodich. 23-15. 2 points from the match. Cavaliers are definitely in their place at mistake-free volleyball from their side of things. Harden. Too much. Cross-court winner. Right in front of Keisha Peters. Here it is again. 2 players sent sprawling to the ground on that one. And we are at match point. Smith to Boca to Smith. Free ball just clears the net. We'll play on. Lions want to end it right here. Could be Cox with the roll. Cavaliers able to recover. Cox defense does it. Does it again. And that's your match. Your final score in set 3, 25-15, as the Lady Lions sweep St. Gregory's Cavaliers. There it is again. Nice play from Cox to end it here at the Schaefer Center. Lions will improve to 7-4 in conference play, drop the Cavaliers to 2-8. We'll take a real quick commercial break. Be right back with some closing thoughts here at the Schaefer Center. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. SAGU Volleyball chalks up another win here at the Schaefer Center. They'll improve to 14-11 on the season, 7-4 in conference play, and pending a loss from Oklahoma City, Devin, Lady Lions could jump to 3rd place in the conference. Talk about the overall numbers and stats and what you saw that sticks out as you look at the final stats of today's game.
I think the most obvious is in the hitting percentage. Offensively, SAGU just really delivered more. In this 3rd set, we were hitting above 300, and the St. Gregory's was right at 0, and they kind of fluctuated in each set. Started off in the 1st set with a negative hitting percentage, and then were above at about .025, I think was what the hitting percentage was 2nd set. And so now that we're here in that 3rd set and they're hitting right at 0, but SAGU was above 300 every single game. And so that offensive difference really allowed them to pull ahead. And I think that's what made the difference, because defensively both teams are really there.
Any 1 or 2 players that you saw from the SAGU side of things that you were impressed with their play? Of course, we talk about Cox and Sodich and Calverley. Any others that really impressed you today?
I think Alyssa Kirk really hustled a lot on the back row. She had a lot of plays running down the ball, and
Sure.
Emily Smith always plays great defense, but Alyssa Kirk really had those hustle plays. And Criddle on the front row really did too, had a lot of plays hitting almost to the 10-foot line, and she was really modeling the way that Cox plays and places the ball. I think that she really had a lot of role in this game too.
Well, you are about to have a role in the next game as we go off the air. My partner, Devin Gwines, who used to play volleyball here at SAGU, is going to hit the court. Tell us what's happening here tonight here as the players who play for Coach Hank Moore have left, but there's still people preparing to do something here tonight.
We've got an alumni volleyball game that's about to go on here, and you see some players that are on the court right now, and we have players from 5-6 years ago, even up to just this past year, and we all still enjoy coming together and playing here, and it's great to be able to come back and play on a court that we all love to play.
So you're going to go lace them up, get ready. We should stay on the air, Mr. Cookman, and let's just call Devin Gwines' game. I just want to see this pro in action. So if you are here in the campus and you got a free night, come out here and support these folks, our alumni who've given so much to the athletic program, are back together. Like you said, folks as late as 10 years ago are back in town. I see Caitlin Hudson on the court here warming up, one of the best players on the team last year. So a fun night here on a Friday night in Waxahachie as the Lions will enjoy their win. And we'll be back Tuesday here at the Schaefer Center, 6 o'clock, against Oklahoma Baptist University, number 1, 9-0 in the conference. We want to pack it out here. It's going to be a 6 p.m. start right here on SAGU.TV. And then on Thursday, October 24th, we'll have soccer for you, John Brown University. It's a 1 p.m. start for the ladies and a 3 p.m. start for the guys. And then Saturday, big homecoming game, 2 p.m. kickoff against Oklahoma Panhandle State. Final thoughts, Devin, before you go hit the court yourself.
I do think that SAGU has a lot going for them now as we're almost seated third in the conference. I think that if we can really keep our heads up and stay on this winning streak as we step into harder competition, playing at a high caliber like we've been doing will ensure that we get that third place spot. And we can even move up higher if we continue to work harder. So if we really do push through, then we have a great seat in the conference standings.
Well, for our executive producer, John Cookman, our amazing student crew, my partner, Devin Gwines, this is Rob Price saying you've been watching the SAGU Sports Network. Until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace.